The Chicago Bears have the best defensive secondary in the NFL, and it's not even close, and I will put money on that. You have guys like Jaylon Johnson, Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, Tyrique Stevenson, and Kevin Byard are your big five in that secondary. Along with you have depth pieces in guys like Josh Blackwell, Terrell Smith, Jaylon Jones, and even Jonathan Owens. You're in a very good spot. And 4 out of your 5 big 5 that I named first are all 25 and under. All have years left on their contract and can build this defense even more for years to come. Along with that, you also have the most takeaways in the NFL for the last 11 weeks of the 2023-2024 season out of this group, and that's without Byard as well. And you're also just letting them warm up in their careers. Again, very young. And Chicago went out and got another guy who is only 25 years old that could impact this defense and be another ball hawk. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, thank you for tuning in. From Texas Tech and the CFL, we have signed undrafted rookie free agent Douglas Coleman III to a training camp roster contract after a very impressive rookie minicamp invite and also what he has done in the CFL. You're going to see him fight hard for a roster spot because, one, this is a very packed and talented room, and it's going to be tough, but also he literally was in the NFL for one day back in 2020 with the Denver Broncos, and where he was cut, brought back, brought back, and the team just ended up not giving him any sort of contract. So a lot of different emotions there, but he had a pretty impressive career so far in the CFL, especially this past year, which is why I'm excited to hit on him, as he could actually do something and have a real shot at making this roster. Now, before I begin today's show, smash that like button on this video to welcome Douglas Coleman III to Chicago, and comment bear down if you think the Bears do in fact have the best defensive secondary in the NFL. And please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already to stay up to date on all Chicago Bears news and content. Now, let's talk about Coleman. The 6'1", 200-pound safety played 4 years at Texas Tech and 2 years in the CFL, which you're going to want to hear both of his stats for those. He's a big safety, carries himself well, plays with good balance, but not only that, is very smart on and off the field. A very good teammate to have, according to many different reports. And along with that, he does play with a chip on his shoulder. He is 25 years old, so he's entering the prime of his career right now, but he spent 2 years in the CFL. He had a lot of potential coming out of Texas Tech, and he felt like his shot in the NFL was cut short for whatever reason, because the Denver Broncos wanted to get rid of him. I don't see how. This guy's a very talented player from what I've seen, but so he's going to be coming out swinging at camp and try as hard as he can to be that one of those last DB spots on this roster. So like I said, he had a really big year at Texas Tech before he entered the NFL, and then he had a really big year this year in the CFL. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about his 2019 season at Texas Tech and then his 2023 season in the CFL. So at Texas Tech, he played in 12 games with 63 total tackles, 50 of them being solo, a complete one-man wrecking crew with 13 assists. Again, 50 tackles solo. That is just absolutely insane. Then the cherry on top, 8 interceptions. You heard me, 8 interceptions. Ironically, none of them were returned for a touchdown, but this guy was an opposing quarterback's nightmare. I mean, no one could get by this guy, a huge part of that Texas Tech defense. And on top of it too, he played in a very offensive heavy division. So for him to go out in the NCAA and ball out like he did, I'm shocked that he did not go drafted. He had also 1 forced fumble, so he's clearly a turnover machine, but his pass deflections, his overall ability to block wide receivers. I mean, I'd rather you have more interceptions than pass deflection, because that means you're doing a darn good job, especially when you have 8 interceptions. But this guy, super impressive at Texas Tech. Went through a couple years in CFL, and then in 2023, this past year, this is what got Ryan Poles' attention. 17 games this past year with 60 total tackles, and how many of them were solo? All 60 of them. Yes, not one assist. This guy registered only solo tackles, only took guys down himself, was a one-man wrecking crew. No one could get by him. insanely impressive because, again, he has good size, but his tackling ability is fantastic, and this guy is super good at football. He also had 3 interceptions this past year in the CFL. 1 he did return for a touchdown, and he had 4 sacks. They sent him on a ton of blitz packages from the secondary, which he worked out really well because he's super fast, he hits hard, and he flew out of nowhere and was able to cause a lot of havoc on quarterbacks and disrupt opposing offenses. So this guy's stats wowed me, and I'm sure they wowed you too. I mean, he's a big guy, he can hit, he can track the ball well, pass deflections, make tackles, something we've missed at the safety position for a very long time. And though we brought in Kevin, I still think that he could be a good second piece to this defense. I mean, incredible stats. Really. I mean, I truly mean that. Super impressive what this guy did. And I'm sure he's gone through 2 different types of football. He played well both, but he can adapt is what I'm saying. Did a very good job. Love to see him bring it here to the Chicago Bears. Now, before I get into his playing style a little bit more, I'd like to thank today's sponsor, Freshie Organic Tequila Seltzer, 99 calories and 3 great flavors of lime, grapefruit, guava, and blood orange habanero. A Chicago-based startup. Support your local small businesses by getting a Freshie today by using the link in the description below. So his playing style. He plays fast and mean. He is not afraid of any wide receiver, any tight end, anyone coming his way because of his intimidation factor, and people know what he can do, especially, I mean, 60 solo tackles, 60 for 60. Super impressive and plays a huge role into his playing style, not allowing anyone to get by him. Not only that, he's really good at tracking not only when passes are thrown, but also the quarterback's eyes. He's able to be in a spot before the quarterback's receiver is even there because he knows where they're going to go, and that's a big advantage for him. Showing that he does have that ball hawk ability, showing that players are going to have to plan around him. There's no doubt about that. And he's an impactful player on the team. So if you throw him out there, whether there's an injury or you throw him in on a different package, people are going to be like, oh, crap, he's out there. We can't throw towards him. It's too dangerous. So overall, again, that intimidation factor. But a really strong tackler, and that's my big thing. You know, he wraps you up, and that's pretty much it. He's not letting you go. There's going nowhere, which has been a huge struggle for the Bears in the past. And I feel like the Bears are really just addressing big-time tacklers on this roster, which I'm super happy about. And this guy's a key depth piece and could be a starter in a couple of years too, so who knows? But I really like his playing style. And 6'1", 200, he's a big guy too, so obviously big advantage for the Chicago Bears. So my final comments, he's going to play with a chip on his shoulder. He's going to be a ton of fun to watch at camp, so keep a lookout for him. I mean, he literally was a rookie camp for Denver, got so many one-off contracts. He'd come in, he didn't know what he was doing, never got any official NFL playing time, but I just feel bad for the guy because he clearly wanted it. He's a talented player, but I don't see anywhere also saying that he was a bad egg. All I've read is that he was a good teammate. It's just a tough business in the NFL. So he's going to want to bring his swagger back to the NFL. He's going to want to make things happen, and I think he's going to be a lot of fun to watch at training camp, and he could make this 53-man roster just like any of these guys. But give this guy a look at training camp, which I'm super excited about. But with that, what do you guys think? Put your comments in the comment section below. Make sure you smash that like button on this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But with that, thank you, as always, for tuning in this episode of Just Another Year Chicago Bears. My name is Nick Rohde, and as always, bear down, baby.